Welcome, beautiful day. Just in the process here of harvesting some potatoes. So this is a lovely variety of first early potato called Rocket, and I planted the seed potatoes on the 29th of February. So we're now 29th of June, so should be a lovely crop in there. So let's tip these out and see what we got. Going to harvest them into this tub here because I like to reuse the compost. So very interestingly, been reading in Chinese traditional medicine, potatoes are used to treat fatigue, lack of energy, and can also increase one's compassionate nature. So that's very good as well. They're rich in vitamins A and C, and just an all good thing to grow. And apparently in traditional European medicine they've been used to treat boils. So there we are. You know, I'm not an expert on any of this, but just done a little bit of reading. Now let's have a look and see what harvest we've got in here. So should be very nice indeed. So as I stated, first early potato. In the US they call these a determinate potato, which basically is because, you know, they stop growing at a certain point. You don't have to earth them up, or so they say. But yeah, in the US commonly called determinate potatoes. So we're getting quite a nice harvest here actually. Very happy indeed. I think I planted, it probably was 2 seed potatoes in the bucket. So quite often you don't get as many yield wise per seed potato from early potatoes, determinate potatoes, as you would main crop indeterminate potatoes. But you know, many prefer the taste of early potatoes, and I have read that it said that early potatoes are better nutritionally than main crop potatoes. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, lovely little harvest there, and these will be delicious. Beetroot, so here we are. Now these will be quite small because they didn't grow as fast as I would have liked, but mini beetroot is always lovely. So beetroot's a lovely crop to grow. It's got that beautiful natural sweetness to it. This is variety Rotkugel 2. I purchased the seeds from Lidl, I believe. So beetroot, very nutritious, rich in potassium. You can eat the tops as well. And I've read that if you're struggling to get close to someone, then eating beetroot can potentially help with this. So anything I'm telling you here is just from my own reading. I'm not an expert in the medicinal properties, values, etc. of foods, but you know, it's worth looking into. And I've also read that beetroot can be good to help improve athletic performance, and apparently also protect against dementia. So I'm not making any claims here, but certainly very much worth looking into. That one particularly interests me because I'm actually a care assistant in a dementia unit. So there we are. And also beetroot has been used to enhance athletic performance. Apparently it can increase blood flow, etc. Can be good apparently also potentially as a treatment for impotence, but once again, you know, you need to do your own research. But it's certainly a nice little thing to do to get into the nutritional values of food. So I'm going to pick some mini beets. I'm just looking through here to try and find some that aren't too mini. So these are my tiny little beetroots, so I'm not disappointed because, as I stated, there's plenty more time for these to grow, and maybe these will be a little bit on the sweeter side because they're smaller at the moment, more delicate. And of course what it's also done is it's freed up some space in there where the other beetroots are growing to allow the others to get bigger. So nothing wrong with doing this sort of thing. Nice nutritional value of the roots as well. Delicious little crop there. So I'll cook all of these. I'll cook all of these leaves, and I'll also cook the beetroots itself. So a nice part of the meal there. So broad beans. Now this is variety Aquadulce Claudia, which is quite commonly recommended as the variety to overwinter here in the UK. Hardy down to about -10 degrees C, so it's very good for that purpose. The plants can get quite big as well, and the crops are very tasty. So in Chinese traditional medicine, I've been reading that they can actually be used to relieve dampness in the body. Dampness can cause things such as lethargy, tiredness, aches and pains. I know I've got plenty of those. So if eating broad beans can help you with that, why not? And also, if you're a Parkinson's sufferer, you might be very interested in researching the value of eating broad beans, because they contain something called L-dopa, which can apparently help improve symptoms, or whatever you want to call them, of people that have Parkinson's disease. So once again, I certainly would never make any claims based on my own sort of experience on this, because I'm new to the subject. But if you have Parkinson's, or know someone who indeed does, or you just want to do a little bit of research, might be an interesting thing to do. So yeah, nice little harvest of broad beans there. A little bit of black fly, but that don't matter, because I'll now wash these pods and I'm going to be eating the beans inside anyway, so no big deal there. Oh, more down here, look. So next to the beetroot, I have some leaf beet chard, otherwise known as perpetual spinach. It's quite commonly used as a spinach substitute because some say the taste is similar, but it's generally considered hardier and easier to grow maybe than true spinach. Some people prefer the taste of true spinach over this, but overall this is quite a good substitute. So it's actually used in traditional medicine for the treatment of jaundice, I've read, dandruff, toothache, and decreased risk of heart disease and diabetes. So there we are, once again more reading for you, all from the potential benefits, all from growing a very easy to grow plant either at your garden or in your allotment. This is fully hardy here in this part of the UK. We are in USDA zone 8B here. So there we are. I'm going to leave a bit more of this. I don't want to take too much because I'm going to have plenty to eat already. There we are, nice bit of leaf beet chard, otherwise known as perpetual spinach there. So raspberries, this is variety Golden Queen, a beautiful yellow raspberry. Bought the original canes, must be some time ago now, 6-7 years ago, something like that. These are very sweet. You can get all sorts of varieties of raspberry, many different ones. You can get summer fruiting, autumn fruiting, you can get red ones, you can get yellow ones like this. So I've been reading a bit about the medicinal or potential medicinal properties of these. Apparently the Native Americans used to use these for their protective reasons. They're a good antioxidant, good to treat constipation, impotence apparently. Apparently in Eastern medicine they are used for premature greying of hair. Well, I think I need to eat more of these. I don't know, I am nearly 40, so maybe it is time for my hair to go grey, but I've certainly got a lot more grey hairs than a lot of my friends have, so yeah, maybe I need to eat more raspberries. And I've also read apparently they are good to treat frequent urination, so really good then. Apparently there's like a tea you can make from the leaves, but the massive potential health benefits from something as easy to grow as raspberries, in my opinion, is definitely very much worth looking into. So I've got a few raspberries in here. There's plenty more where these came from, but I like to just pop out here and eat them fresh, straight off the plant. Another potential medicinal property I've been reading about these is apparently they can be good to treat low back pain. So there we are. I certainly have low back pain. Most gardeners probably do as well, or will do, sadly. Do your reading, folks, because if you can help your health and the health of others just by growing a few simple plants at home or at the allotment, why not, eh? So peaches, so many of you are aware, this tree here, variety Dixie Red, had it for years. Hasn't set a massive crop this year, but there is a crop in here. This peach tree here, variety Peregrine, has set a bigger crop this year. This is the benefit of having more than one tree. When one takes a rest, hopefully the other one is giving you more, and maybe you get massive amounts, 1 year. So there we are. Now, look at that, look. So carrying a huge crop here, all over there, all here, all over the other side, but these are not ready just yet. Peaches, so apparently they can help to improve blood circulation, food stagnation, help saliva to produce antifungal, so just an overall great crop to grow, peaches, and absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to try and lift these up so you can see the little, I hope you can see that there. I've made loads of videos, here we go, of peaches over the years, so you should find plenty of information on these, and indeed many other things on my channel as well. But let's pick a couple of these. Beautiful peach, just like this. There we are. So some of you might be asking, and many of you know why I do this. I grow my peach trees and my nectarine tree in polytunnels to protect them from winter rainfall. In fact, I protect mine from rainfall year round because I don't want them to get a condition called peach leaf curl, which is quite often fatal for the tree. So peas, apparently these are good for bones, promote urination, good for constipation, good for indigestion. So yeah, peas, grow peas, really delicious to grow. And there's something about going out into your garden and just breaking open a pod of peas. Yes, some might turn around and say, you know, for the space they take up, you don't get a massive crop, you know, which, you know, there is a point to that, but the taste is delicious. So these are a variety called Champion of England tall climbing pea, a historical variety. If I'd given them the love they had deserved, they would have gone right up the canes, I would have tied them in, etc, etc, but my working hours and other things I've got going on, they don't really lend themselves that well to you know, me keeping a really tidy garden at the moment. Not complaining, my choice entirely, but many of you are aware of my phrase. It's not my phrase, I heard it before. Don't let perfection get in the way of the good. I find that very useful because, you know, I could stress myself over this not being a perfectly manicured garden, but even in its current situation, it is incredibly productive, which is the main goal here. So what are your views on that? Do you prefer a sort of manicured garden, or do you prefer something a bit on the rustic side like this, or something in between? I'm always interested to hear other people's approaches. So blueberries, apparently these can guard against age-related macular degeneration. In my care career, I have come across people with this, so if these can help, that's great. Apparently good to help, you know, cleanse the liver, help the liver to eliminate toxins from the body, so that's great. And what else? Help the body to recover after exercise, and high in antioxidants. So, you know, blueberries, great crop to grow. And forgetting all of that, they're absolutely delicious. I've got an assortment of varieties here, one of which is Duke, which is early cropping, another one which is Elliot, which is late cropping, Spartan is another good one, Blue Crop is another good one, Chandler is another good one, there's pink berries now. Have a look round. Blueberries are really good fun. They are partially self-fertile to my knowledge, but what you can do to help boost your yield, you can get more than one of each variety, and it's said to help with your yield by helping pollination, so that might help you a little bit. But yeah, blueberries, stick them on your list. Got some here, and I've got some more in the other polytunnel with the Dixie Red Peach. So here you are, you can see these blueberries here, plenty more to come. Look, all sorts of varieties I've got growing in here. I think I've got Duke, and I've got, see what else, I've got a Blue Crop down here. I was given some of these plants a few years ago, very kindly by someone. He took them out of his garden because they weren't producing, and he gave them to me. He was either going to give them to me, or I think they were going to go in the green waste. So I've got them here, and had them for a few years, and really beautiful. So yeah, got them in here just as a sort of protective, if you will, against birds. Birds can eat these, although I've been quite lucky, to be honest. The ones out in the garden that you saw a moment ago, the birds haven't actually really touched this year, and they seem to leave them alone last year. I mean, look at them, look, crikeys. I do remember years ago, I think it was a blackbird was flying at them, knocking the little berries off. So there we go. Blueberries, they do like a nice acidic, otherwise known as ericaceous growing medium. 4.5 to 5.5 pH. You can get ericaceous feeds, but honestly speaking, I haven't fed these at all this growing season. I didn't feed them at all last growing season. I really haven't worried too much about it beyond my initial growing medium, which I tried to make as ericaceous as possible. You can buy ready-made ericaceous compost, or you can have a go at making your own, but there are some schools of thought that say it's very difficult to alter pH, and even if you do try and make it ericaceous acidic, it'll go back to what it wants to be anyway. So that's very interesting, but either way, do your research, and certainly something to look into. So in here we've got peach, we've got blueberries, and we've got raspberries. Lovely. So here we have a cherry tree growing in a 230 litre container. This is a variety Sunburst, carrying a huge crop this year. Now these are not quite ready yet, but I want to pick one, and medicinally, cherries I've heard are very good. So I remember walking past a health food shop. I haven't been there, well, I sometimes go there. I haven't been there for a while though. I need to get back there soon. But yeah, very tasty indeed. And I've read that cherries are good for, or potentially good for people who have gout, which, if I'm correct, is to do with too much uric acid, purines, etc. in the blood. Very painful and apparently on the increase. It was once considered apparently the disease of kings, rich man's disease, but now sort of non-rich, you know what I'm saying, non-people of that sort of wealth level are now getting gout more. So there we go, you might want to do a bit of reading on that, but apparently cherries and cherry juice can help with that. So there we are. Now, these do need a bit longer, but they're fine. They're a bit on the tart side, but apparently sour cherries are actually better for gout anyway. There we are. Grow some cherries. So, doing very well in this container. This is on rootstock Colt, which is otherwise known as a half standard, and obviously covered up with a net because the birds, massive pigeons around here, would love to devour these. So there we are, a beautiful harvest from the garden. Will be really nice to cook this up and make a lovely meal. So there we go, we've got baby beetroots, we're going to call them. The rest will get bigger. I've got, look at these first early potatoes, a bit bigger than first early potatoes traditionally are because I've left them in a bit longer, but I don't mind that. Some might say they lose a bit of taste by letting them get that much bigger, but I'm not that much into specifics to worry too much. Here, broad beans, delicious. Going to be taking them out of their cases, boiling or steaming them up. And I've got my peach, and I've got my raspberries, and I've got my blueberries. Peas, chard, delicious. Anyway, so what do you know about medicinal values of anything I've grown here, or indeed other things? It's another aspect of gardening I'm very much getting into. So done a lot of growing over the years, and yes, I knew that everything I was growing was good for me and other people, or at least has the potential to be, but I've never really bothered too much looking much beyond that, which probably was a fault really, but you can't do everything. So what else have I got here now? Is there anything else you recommend growing for health? Because health is so important. Now here, I've got, this is spearmint, and I'm making a little spearmint tea for myself. So some people say that spearmint is used as a sedative to help people sleep. So very, very good indeed. Now, I do know that herbs, etc., and certain foods can be very powerful. So anything I've told you today, you must do your own research on it to see if it's suitable for you to eat, to do, or for other people, because I'm not an expert, okay? I'm very much in my infancy for learning about this sort of thing. But hopefully this video has at least sort of encouraged you, maybe if it's your thing, to look into more the medicinal values and of foods in order to treat your own health and improve your health and other people's health, because health is wealth, isn't it, as they say. Okay, thanks for your time. I appreciate you all. See you soon.